Get people to believe that we're gonna have a pancake machine someday. Get people to believe that we're gonna build you a lake just for you to go duck hunting and fishing. Getting people to believe we're gonna make a youth center for kids to go and play softball. By the way, these are all things that we've spoke into existence and they've happened.
What is up, everyone? Joe Everest, the fence expert. Today I've got Matt Warner, the CVO of Empire Netting and Fence. We're going to talk about the top 5 ways you see companies making mistakes when trying to build their company culture.
Exactly.
And if you wait around to the end, we've got a bonus.
One extra, right.
So Matt, what do you think about company culture, building company culture, and the mistakes you see people make?
The number one thing for me I see people make is that they're instigating people to be coin operated. Being coin operated is getting somebody to not understand the why of what they're doing.
Okay.
And I've always talked about the why of what you're doing is not a paycheck. That's the result of what you're doing. Now, I stole that from Simon Sinek. I think he does a good job of talking about that. It's a great book to read. I really enjoy that kind of thinking. But when we stopped implementing things that made people feel coin operated, our culture of our people changed. The way they do things, the way they're inspired to do better work, the way that they attract other people to come and be part of our team. We are constantly trying to add people. Well, no one wants to go to a company where you're just working for a paycheck. That's all you're doing, right? You don't want to go, the old saying, I don't want to go back to the salt mills, but we want people to know that they're part of something bigger than themselves. So the number one thing for me that I see out there in other companies and what we did for a long time was instigating people to be coin operated.
Can you give me an example of instigating the coin operated? I see where you're going, but just for an explanation, what would be an example of that, Matt?
One example is putting so much thought and pressure into a bonus check. And I do believe in the bonus system, but I also believe in other things. For example, we do a beef day. I believe we gave away right around 12 to 1,300 pounds of beef to our people. 37 coolers full of hamburger and steaks. That's something to get people to say, wow, here's something special that's tangible for me to grab rather than a paycheck or a bonus. Now, bonus checks are important. I'm not saying delete that. What I'm saying is add something else. For instance, we also do a boot voucher. Every year on your anniversary, you get another boot voucher. And it's a boot voucher for over $200 so you can get a nice pair of boots. We want everybody to know that we care about them, we care about their feet. Plus, it just makes good sense. You put good tires on your pickup truck, why wouldn't you put good shoes on your people's feet? So I'm a big believer in those little extra nuggets that you can give to your team.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, now Matt, speaking of teams, what would be the second mistake you see companies make?
I hear it everywhere I go, and I will have to throw out a shout out. Sean King is the one that really pointed this out to me of how do we address our team? Do we call them employees? Because in the dictionary, when you look up an employee, it says a person that works for compensation. So you're literally instigating them to be coin operated, which goes back to number one.
Right.
But I see people all the time say, yeah, my employees are great. How much better is it to be called a team member than somebody that is coin operated? Basically, every time I hear somebody say employees, I think that they're coin operated. So we have tried to call our team members. I can be a coach that way. We can have other people being a coach. A foreman can be a coach. You can have coaches, and you're working more as a team to get everybody together. And I will tell you, here's the proof in the pudding. Look at a horse, all right? So a draft horse can pull about 6,000 pounds all by itself. But when you put another draft horse right next to it, it can pull like 18,000 pounds. And even if you take those two and you train them and get them better, they can even go up to 32,000 pounds. So it's a proof that when you take one horse all by itself, it's not that strong. But when you coach another horse right next to it and you're coaching them to make them a team, now they can do even more. So that's why we talk a lot about team in our culture. And I will tell you, I make the same mistake all the time. It slips up, and I have people catch me, and I love it. That's what I want, right? Accountability.
Yep, that's right.
That's the second one.
Well, and Matt, that absolutely makes sense. When you think back to when I've worked at other places, you definitely feel the difference between being an employee and being a team member. You want to be part of the team.
Yeah, makes a big difference, Joe. I'm not kidding you.
All right, Matt, fantastic. What would be the third mistake you see people make?
As I go around and I'm doing more of this, visiting with other people and visiting other companies, I really think that a mistake that we make as the coach, the leader of the organization, is we need to spend more time listening.
Okay.
Less time being a dictator, more time listening. Listen to our people. They're going to tell us what we're doing wrong. They're going to tell us why things don't work. If you're going to have good culture and you want to empower people so you're not constantly out there trying to fix every single problem, you have to empower them, but empower them by listening rather than always giving dictation. And if you're out there and you're constantly trying to tell everybody how to do everything, then you're just a know-it-all. And then plus you don't have buy-in from them. Let them tell you what's going on in your company. So it's true. We have 2 ears, one mouth. Yep. We need to listen twice as much. So listening is a very important mistake that a lot of companies make.
Well, and I think that ties really well in with your last point, though, Matt, because teams work together.
Right.
So it's not a series of individuals. It's a one cohesive unit that listens to each other and makes decisions based on the group.
If you want better culture, start listening to your people and then implement those different actions.
I like that a lot.
Now, I've got the number 4.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We don't like change.
Right.
But the only way you're going to make better culture is to be open to change. So I just read this silly little book. It's I believe it's Who Moved My Cheese. It's a super easy book to read.
Yeah.
But it really opened up my eyes to the fact of be ready for change and embrace change and be quick to move with change. And don't be scared of change. And even though you change something, you'll probably fail. I've got a lot of people I've been talking about Monday morning meetings and what we do, which I've talked to you about my Monday morning meetings.
Yep.
Stay tuned. Maybe we'll talk about that sometime. But I really think that was difficult for me at first because I had to recognize that I'm pulling everybody out of the field to put everybody together. And I had to get used to the change of saying every Monday, this is a commitment. We're going to commit to this change and what we're doing. And it was tough for me, Joe. I struggled. And I'm getting better with change and accepting change, but I'm also pretty hard-headed. And I think I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But the older I get, the more I recognize that if you're open to change, success will come behind that.
Well, and I think that's important. I mean, the saying goes, the most dangerous phrase in a business is because that's how we've always done it.
Yes.
Right,
Yep.
and I think that's true. You really have to focus on growth because staying safe also leads to stagnation too.
It does. Well said.
Being open to change leads to innovation and growth.
Right.
So, Matt, I think that leads us into point number 5.
Yes. Point number 5, I really, and there's so many things out there that you can do to create better culture, but some of the mistakes that I think people are making out there is not empowering people, not giving them authority to make a decision, to do things. If my team does everything that I say, they're going to come to me for the next step and the next step and the next step. So if you want good culture, you have to empower the people. For instance, my salesman, we have empowered Rachel to do whatever she needs to do to get it done. Most people think she owns the dang thing, which is awesome.
Guilty.
Yeah,
Guilty.
So she runs that. So we try to empower all the way through the company. It doesn't matter where you're at. Sure. You have the authority to make decisions, and if you make a wrong one, we're going to talk about it and talk about the different kinds of decision making. But empowering the people to make their own decision if you give them power, you're going to create better culture. Sure. Because they're going to be more involved.
Well, and you're also creating other leaders within your business.
Absolutely.
By giving them a little bit of loose rein, right? Loose rein to run with.
Right.
Very good. So, Matt, you told us in the beginning that if they stuck around to the end, we've got a bonus for them. what would the bonus, the icing on the cake be to mistakes companies make when trying to build culture?
I think that an absolute game changer for us was opening up the communication, opening up the vision of the company, opening up where we're going. Get people to believe that we're going to have a pancake machine someday. Get people to believe that we're going to build you a lake just for you to go duck hunting and fishing. Getting people to believe we're going to make a youth center for kids to go and play softball. By the way, these are all things that we've spoke into existence, and they've happened.
Yep.
If you can get people to believe in your vision, hence CVO, I want to paint the vision, and I want to get people bought in on my pancake machine. There's a whole story behind the whole pancake machine. I think I've talked to you a little bit about this. I just think they're really cool machines for one, but I also want to get them for us. We're going to have a pancake machine in our company, so when people come to work, they can hit a button in 1 minute, they have 2 pancakes.
Yep.
That is awesome. So vision is a big part of great culture.
It is, and I think one thing I've been, guilty with or struggle with is sharing the entire vision with the whole team. What I found I was doing was giving snippets of the vision to different people, but then I would share, a snippet with someone else, and they'd say, "Wait a minute,
Guilty.
We're doing what?"
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. I did the same thing.
But I didn't know I was doing it, because in my mind I was like, "Yeah, remember I talked about this. We're doing this. We're going there. We're forming this other thing." And they said, "Well, you told me about one, but not the other two." So something to watch out for is when you're sharing vision, make sure you share the entire vision with the entire team.
Yes. Very good. Joe, I tell you, I'm really passionate about trying to create culture, and I don't want anybody to think that I have it all figured out. I don't. I'm a hot mess most of the time. But what makes us different than other places is that we are working on it and trying to get better, and we're reading books, we're taking nuggets from all these events, we're going to training. We're here at a training event today in North Carolina. We're here to get better together.
Absolutely. Well, guys, let me know what you think about this top 5 plus the bonus. If you've got anything to add, drop it in the comments below. I always love interacting with you guys in the comments. Until next time, I'm Joe Everest, the fence expert, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors.